I decided to exercise my freedom of expression and write on the wall here because I just don't think it's right that they put people.
Sir,
people
you know
in
this
cages.
washes off. I mean, like, look.
Kelly volunteers. James just recently moved here, was just arrested.
I arrived here for the sentencing of my friends Ademo and Wes, who were basically being sentenced for chalking.
For chalking, tell us about that.
Yeah, Kelly was outside in support. She showed up a little late, and then she was chalking free demo on the building that I seen, and maybe a couple other like no victim, no crime slogans. But yeah, right away there was 4 officers out there. They dragged her off.
Yes, they had me chained to the wall. What? I was chained to a wall.
Oh, on that bench?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they took my chalk and they put me in handcuffs and they threw me in a paddy wagon and they threw me in a cage.
And this artwork, you know, that you put up on the wall. I mean, it was done with chalk.
It was done with chalk and it means something to me. I don't think it's right that my friends got thrown in cages for peaceful actions. So therefore, I consider it, I mean, that was my freedom of expression.
Right.
They violated my freedom of expression, my freedom of speech, and they threw me in a cage.
And as far as I'm concerned, at least, the court is a public place.
The court is definitely a public place.
So taxpayers own that building.
Yes.
So you were drawing on a public place, which
Yes.
you have a
Yes.
a right to do, especially if it's not vandalism, because you
Chalk
weren't leaving
washed
in
it right off.
and it did. And well, I'm glad you're a free person.
Thank you. I'm glad to be free too. Every day I'm free is a good day.
The captive are free. From outside you can't tell, but the inside is hell, as prisoners are subject to pain. Cause of who they are, not the crimes they commit, though it's injustice all the same. Female and colored and transgendered prisoners are subject to bias abuse, while festering in cells with deplorable health, the mental anguish is profuse. And if you don't think that prisons are a problem, you better think again. For the good of us all, may they all one day fall and delight this world with their decay.
I can.
Whoa, what's happening here?
Restore the owner of this property back to their original state of being by washing the chalk off the walls. Chalk was not damaged. I'm being thrown in a
May I ask
cage.
why is this happening?
Because I decided to exercise my freedom of expression and write on the wall here. Because I just don't think it's right that they put people.
Sir,
people
you know
in
this
cages.
washes off. I mean, like, look.
Hey. Touch it.
It's evidence.
What's evidence?
Step back.
Yeah.
Can you believe
But
this?
seriously, like, you were just gonna stop me from licking my finger and wiping the chalk off the wall to show how arbitrary and bullshit this is, that you guys are arresting somebody for
Can you believe
what is
this?
it, vandalizing? Is that what you're calling this?
I don't know.
Come on, my dear.
Back up,
in
son.
the cage. In the cage.
Can you not ever
In
touch
the
me again, sir?
cage.
Then don't interfere with my crime scene. Move away.
I didn't know this was a crime scene.
What crime?
Where's the crime?
I can't see one.
Sidewalk. Stay on the sidewalk.
Don't tell me what to do. You're here to help out with the oppression? Yep. Well, you're here in uniform. You must be.
Is this the crime scene investigation? Get here.
Get the forensics.
Oh, you have got to be joking.
Yep, this is all a big joke.
Are you serious?
How much money is this costing the taxpayer?
What are you doing right now? You think people want to pay for this?
Right. The people you're. Oh, let's.
All right, let's take a poll. Who wants to pay for it?
Right.
You want to pay for these police officers right now?
It's colorful, it's pretty, it doesn't look bad. Yeah, why don't you stop aggressing against peaceful people and we'll leave you alone?
All I see is freedom of speech.
You know how the chalking all started? I don't feel put upon at all. All this chalking started because 4 of your colleagues beat the shit out of a guy outside of a bar. What'd you do then? Did you investigate that crime? What time of day was it? It doesn't matter. I guess you just only work.
It happened at a bar called Strange Brew. You probably recall that incident.
I know I wouldn't choose to associate with heavy-handed people like that. I would hope that you would speak out against such things. This is called an unintended consequence to your officers' actions. You guys get away with acting like a bunch of thugs.
I don't appreciate it. I don't want to pay for it.
Okay.
How many peaceful people are you going to put in your prison here, sir, Mr. Harrington? Are you batch number 1, by the way?
Yes, sir, I am.
That's what I thought. This is the guy that opened your door.
You
opened my door.
I most certainly did. I issued you a traffic summons for your uninspected vehicle.
So is it okay for people to just open other people's doors without permission?
Well, sir, I thought it was at the time.
Why did you think that was okay? Is that normal procedure? I don't appreciate being forced to pay for this.
Do you agree with how taxpayer money is being spent here?
Sir, I don't think this is the time nor the place to be discussing this. I think if you have good intentions about how you go about your activities, you've got every right to protest legally and lawfully.
Right.
However, when you start doing things to deliberately incite confrontation and to deliberately try to get yourself arrested and make a media circus, I think it's wrong.
Sir, I never want to be. No, but sir, I personally never want to be arrested. But I'm an activist.
I don't either.
I'm an activist, and I still stand up for liberty. I still stand up for.
And God bless you. You have every right to do that.
Right.
But sometimes I think that your techniques and tactics aren't exactly appreciated.
If I were to go and chalk on the wall, I am not expecting to get arrested.
I think that it's been amply made aware to people that when you engage in behavior that constitutes criminal mischief as defined by the state statutes, you're probably going to get arrested. Particularly when you want to be arrested.
Two things. Look up. Have you ever heard of Oath Keepers?
I think I have, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Oath Keepers is a resource tool for public officials for you to re-examine your oath to the Constitution that you took.
Something, my friend. Okay. I took an oath when I was a United States Marine. I took an oath when I became a police officer. I worked real hard each and every day to hold that oath. My job is to protect life and property. I've done it for a long time.
Well, sir, your job is not to protect life and property. Your job is to protect rights.
My job is to protect life and property.
Rights.
Your rights.
My job is to protect my life and my property.
Exactly.
You
But
have nothing to
certainly-
do with my life and my property. Neither do you.
Now-
No,
now
and
you're
you
getting
don't.
into whole
You don't.
philosophies, Bo.
No,
So-
because I am responsible for my actions, my life,
That's
my
right.
property, my money,
That's
everything.
terrific. But
You know?
unfortunately, there are certain laws of society.
It's my responsibility to deal with that.
You don't want anybody else.
I do
You're
not
not
want
obligated
your
to
help. I do not want
That's
to be
the
forced
problem.
to pay for your help.
Anarchy, it means peace. Government, we don't need. We shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in
peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Government, we don't need anarchy. It is peace. We shall overcome someday.
From outside you can't tell, but the inside is hell, as prisoners are subject to pain. Cause of who they are, not the crimes they commit, though it's injustice all the same. Female and colored and transgendered prisoners are subject to bias abuse, while festering in cells with deplorable health. The mental anguish is profuse, and if you don't think that prisons are a problem, you better think again. For the good of us all, may they all one day fall and delight this world with their decay.